battery here is not working. It's a beautiful day, and we are here. As the message, the music was singing, I was contemplating on the topic of today. The message is Sigi Buluzo Cho Shinka Lanage. And it's just as if they read my mind on the topic we are presenting for today, because our discussion today is deliberately focused on the challenges of Africa, the problems we are facing today in Africa, in Nigeria, is a result of the loss of our roots. When a people forget their God, they become slaves. So now, when we talk about God, we want to understand what God really is. Because God is not something anybody can see, but rather it's an idea that man conceived of a being far greater than him. And our ancestors have their understanding and concept of God, which was handed over to us. Likewise, every nation of the world have their own concept of God. Today we'll be discussing about the disempowerment of Africa with negative self-image. We'll be talking about the disempowerment of Africa with negative self-image. Now, I would like to, first of all, describe what self-image is. The word self-image, is a dynamic mental view or picture of an individual which impacts on his reality. Self-image is described as a dynamic mental view or picture of an individual which impacts on his reality. Now, what we'll be doing is, when I grammatize, somebody will commentate. We agree on that?
Yes.
So I want somebody to explain from what I've written. That self-image is a dynamic mental picture of an individual which impacts on his reality. What does that mean? This is an interactive class. So I want you to share your view from what you understand so that we can help each other I have a problem of trying to calm down, but all you do is you drum down by your inputs. Yes.
What I understand by that is self-image is what you imagine within yourself, or what you always think of, that eventually comes to manifestation in your life.
Okay. Yes. Another person. The key word they talk about imagination, the unseen, but there is more. Yes.
Self-image bụ foto mmadụ wepụtara iji were maa atụ akụkọ ọnụrụ maka ya n'otu aka ọ dị.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Another person. Yes. Okay. Yes, another person. Now, let me say here, the word self-image. You have discovered what you said about the mental picture or vision or imagination of a man's heart is true. But in this question, self-image is the mental picture you have of yourself. The image, what you think of yourself. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Who do you think you are? It is who you think you are or what you think you are that you become. The saying that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, is very true in every area of life, because the spirit controls the physical. Am I communicating? Now, I will go further to say that self-image, again, self-image is an internal. Self-image is an internal dictionary. Internal dictionary that defines the characteristics of an individual. Okay, including such things as beauty, ugly, intelligence, okay, selfish, talented, etc. Wicked, kindness, love. Now, here again, he said that self-image is an internal dictionary. What is a dictionary? Akwụkwọ nkọwa. Now, there's one thing I want you to know, that whatever concept you have of yourself will define your life experience without you knowing it. Am I communicating? So that's why I said a self-image is an internal dictionary that defines the characteristics of an individual, including such things as beauty, ugly, intelligent, selfish, talented, and what have you. Now, one of these characteristics are clean here.
Yes.
These characteristics form collective representation of our assets. Assets, which is strength, and liability, which is weakness. These characteristics form a collective representation of our assets and liability. What here again means that this internal dictionary that defines the character, that defines the personality, we say that self-image is an internal dictionary. Self-image we hear cover about you that direct your action and your relationships. When you feel unworthy, there are some people that have self-limitation problems, which we term inferiority complex. They don't feel belonged. They don't feel they have what it takes. Even when naturally they are very intelligent, you see them, they are shy of coming out because they have no control. There is a consciousness of limitation that have been imposed on the person unknowingly to him. Somebody might be very ugly, but at every point he or she will be feeling inadequate. And so the person cannot be able to express himself or herself in public, even when the person is very intelligent. And you see over time, because of this fear, the person gets stunted mentally. He cannot grow because there is a deliberate suppression of the person's ability unknown to him. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
Now, I also want to go for more particular thing. Another definition of self-image here, before we now take a look at how it was used against Africa. Self-image is an insidious. I say when I grammatize, you co-watize, you co-initiate. It's an insidious, decisive control mechanism that determines who we are, what we become, and the relationship, of our life experience. I clear this?
Yes, sir.
What we become, our intelligence, and productivity, or rather creativity. I will use creativity as productivity. I know that it's through creativity you become productive. Here, self-image is an insidious, decisive control mechanism that determines who we are, what we become, our intelligence, and our creativity. Now, when we talk about insidious is secret. The meaning of insidious is secret. Something that you're not aware of. In other words, it's a remote control that determines your success and failure. Your self-image is a remote control that determines your success and failure, that determines your productivity, that determines your relationship with the world. Your self-image is a difference between poverty and wealth. Your self-image can determine your state of health, both mental state of health and your physical state of health. Am I communicating here? If somebody believes that he is not healthy, over time, he will become unhealthy. Am I communicating? And so, that belief, that picture you have of yourself is your self-image, and it has a secret control of your life. That's why we say it's an insidious, decisive. Insidious means the secret. Decisive simply means that it determines whatever becomes of you. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes.
Now, one thing about self-image is that it is a product of learning and continuous reinforcement. I clean here?
Yes, sir.
I clean?
Yes.
Okay. The human self-image is a product of learning and continuous reinforcement. Now, the human self-image is a product of learning and continuous reinforcement. You are who you are because of what you learned from your parents. You are who you are today because of what you learned from your environment. You are who you are because of what you learned from your peers. But when you are absorbing this knowledge, you were not aware of it. The taboos and do's and don'ts of your community affected your life. Ọwụrụ na unu adịghị na community si na fa adịghị eke, any place you eke unknowingly, ọ ya mega affect. Whether you know it or not. Because that has been a self-image that was implanted into the subconscious mind of the community individuals. Self-image can get to the point where it enters into your DNA, it becomes transferable from father to children. I don't know if I'm communicating here.
Yes, sir.
Now, somebody who has poor self-image, if you give him $1 billion, in 6 months, he will come back to you to accuse you that you gave him a go. The reason why would that be? Yes.
Because of the picture he pictured of himself.
He has no conscious of that picture, but there is a control mechanism within him that tells him that he's not worthy of that money, and he doesn't know it. He will make poor decisions. He will have mistrust. Now let me tell you, how many of you here will keep $1 billion in your house and you sleep at night? Raise your hand. $1 billion in your house and you sleep at night. I put it to you that it is not true. Because the moment that money comes, the first thing you think about is thieves will come. You remember that there is insecurity around you. And the moment you hear this sound in the night, you wake up to take torch and look around.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
Nobody here will do that. But there are men who can do that outside our climb, because it has become part of their environment that there's nothing like common robbery or break and entry. But in the environment, it's a culture. And so in our self-image, in our psyche, we all have this fear within us, embedded within us. True or false? That's self-image. That's negative self-image. Now, because it is a product of learning, deliberate steps were taken to destroy Africa by giving them a poor self-image. And I'll tell you something. Now, my brother, when you are asked to paint an image of God, what image comes to your mind? Good. I love that truth. The first destruction that was given to Africa is the image of God was placed, God equal to white men, devil
black man.
Go to any family, go to any child, a 1-year child in Africa, to describe the devil for you. He will tell you he's black with long tails. True or false?
True.
This is a negative self-image that have embedded into our subconscious DNA. Now this is where the problem comes. Now you were told that God is an epitome of everything that is good and positive, while the devil is an epitome of everything that is negative and evil. Is it true or false?
It's true.
Deep inside, your subconscious has equated you with the devil, that there is nothing good that can come out of you. That is where the problem lies, of Africa lies. A subconscious programming was made into the Africans, and they employed professionals, professional brainwashers, who continue doing this even up to today in our land. Am I communicating here?
Yes.
Now, it said, remember, this human self-image is a product of learning and continuous reinforcement. If there is no reinforcement, you may at a time break away from that learning. But the continuity of the reinforcement pushes it into the subconscious and into your DNA, even so that when you have a newborn baby, without even thought over, he just have that belief. And you cannot change this unless there is a deliberate reprogramming of the mind. And who are these professionals that are empowered to continue the programming? The pastors, the church. The church. Now, every angel of God is presented to you as white, while every angel of the devil is presented to you as black. That you are the product of darkness and negativity. Now, even though your mind says a lie, I know that it is different. It is not true. At the subconscious level, once you believe in a thing, it doesn't matter how you feel, that thing becomes the controlling switch of your life. Am I communicating here?
Yes.
The colonialists realized that for Africa to be subjugated, for them to continue using Africa as a dumping ground of their products, they need to destroy the productivity and creativity of Africans. And so, they created the church system, which they don't believe. They brought out creeds and beliefs which you must adhere to. And they tell you that, who are you to question God? That you should not think anything outside the Bible you are given. And then you are told that the devil is black. So if your ancestors are the devil, and that you are a product of the devil, and you were told to go and destroy your foundation by deliverance. So, the conquering of Africa completed when Africans believed in the white man's religion. This is a terrible thing. That's why we have a long way to go. So when we say when the people forget their God, they become slaves, it is not just an image of a being, but it's simple. When the people forget their originality, when the people forget their traditional orientation, when the people forget the truth about their ancestors, they become slaves. Today, we have over 1 billion slaves in Africa in the name of the church. And the first thing they tell them is that you should not be unequally yoked with anybody who doesn't believe in you. In other words, if your husband is not in the same religion, he's your enemy. If your wife is not there, he's your enemy. If your relatives are not there, they are your enemies. And so nothing you do is right. Meanwhile, they themselves, the church people, have been told that they are the devil and the children of the devil, thereby destroying their creativity, because they were told that the devil is unproductive. Am I communicating?
Yes.
So what we're saying here is that the disembowelment of Africa became completed by the use of negative self-image, and it has been held down continuously by the reinforcement of the agents of the white man, who are the pastors around us. The Bible is the agent, is an agent of what? Slavery. The Bible is an instrument of slavery. That's why we call it the slave manual, where you are meant to be a second class, that the Christians were told that they are adopted Israelites. In other words, they are slaves to serve the whites. And the reality we see all around is a product of this negative self-image that had been indoctrinated into the black man, into the black race. That's why today, the black man can never be free as long as Christianity continues to exist in our land. Because they will keep finding different razzmatazz ways of pushing in the program. Now, Christianity is a program that was designed to place the black man as a second-class creature of God. No, not just a creature of God, as the devil himself and a product of the devil. Now, the most terrible thing is that once you have been programmed negatively, no matter the efforts you make, without a conscious reprogramming, you can never achieve anything in life. Whatever effort you make will always end up in failure. Because the spiritual controls the physical. It is the spiritual economy that gives stability to the physical economy. And so, the beginning lies in your psyche. Am I talking to somebody here?
Yeah.
I also want to entertain questions as we go. Now, what we see is that this white devil versus God mentality became a program that is guiding our collective unconscious dynamics. Okay? This negative self-image of Africans that they represent the devil is a deliberate program placed to guide the African collective African unconscious dynamics. African unconscious dynamics to manifest negative realities and experience. This negative self-image of Africans, or rather negative self-image that was indoctrinated into Africans that they represent the devil, is a deliberate program placed to guide the African unconscious dynamics to manifest negativity, negative realities and experience. Now, let us commentate. Let us commentate the grammatization. Now, what he said here is, Africans were insidiously, were quietly indoctrinated that the devil is black and nothing good comes from the devil. Automatically, that their ancestors were children of the devil and they served the devil. When you're told that your mother and father were mad people, automatically you're being told that the DNA of madness lives in you. True or false? True. And once you believe it, you begin to look elsewhere. Whatever you do, you say, am I sure people are not seeing me as a mad person? Yeah. And once you're preoccupied with that, kiss goodbye to productivity and creativity. Am I communicating here? Yes, sir. Now, what this does is that the unconscious dynamics of the Africans now began to manifest things. Every man's unconscious dynamic will always manifest things that are harmonious with your belief system, with your unconscious beliefs. Because this is something you're not even aware that you were programmed. It's something that has passed from your parents. Christianity in Nigeria is over 60-something years or more. And over time, you have been indoctrinated with that same belief that the devil is the enemy, that the devil is unproductive, and that the devil is the same color as you are. Then your mind will simply do the remaining mathematics that you are a product of the devil. And since you are told that the devil cannot be productive, your subconscious mind will shut down. It will no longer be productive because it has been told that the devil is not productive, that the devil is negative, is violent. that everything negative comes from the devil. Am I communicating here? This is where the slavery of Africa manifested. Now, our beloved prophet and brother, Bob Nestor Marley, summed it up when he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, for none but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop up the time. How long shall they kill our prophets, while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it, we must fulfill the book. Won't you join me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I have a here, redemption song, the song of freedom. I am here singing this song of freedom to you. Our prophets, the native doctors, are being killed on a daily basis by the churches, by the leaders, on the accusation of frivolities. When the truth is, these people are agents to suppress the black man from awakening to his true beingness. Until we are awakening from our mental slavery, and the only way to awake from that mental slavery is to listen to this message and put it to work. There is no other institution upon this earth that is teaching this message and breaking it down to your understanding, apart from Chukwuabiama Heritage Synagogue. That's why it hurts me when people just come, fold their hands, listen and go back and continue on what they're doing. When you should have your writing material to put down the points that you will meditate upon, because you can only change your mind programming through meditation, affirmation, and constant reminder. That's why I say that the human self-image is a product of learning and continuous reinforcement. You think because you stop going to church that what is there stop controlling you? Is a lie. You're still imprisoned in your church subconsciously without knowing it. That's why this message is brought, so that you will know where the true problem. The problem of Africa has been due to the subconscious programming of lack of productivity, of inferiority, because you were told that God is superior to the devil, that the devil is inferior, and that you are in the image of the devil. Now what we're saying here is that from childhood we have been received this slavish training being incorporated into our consciousness, and we have believed it, and the slave agents have continued to reinforce this. Now, anyone who debases his ancestors debases his roots. And as long as it is the root that feed the tree, whatever cause you place on your ancestors become your reality. That is just a terrible situation. But this is a deliberate program that was brought into Africa to tell you that your ancestors were evil. Yet in the Bible, you were told how Abraham slaughtered human beings for sacrifice. That's why it did not mean anything when he was told to kill his own son. You are told of a man who went to war, and he promised that the first thing he see when they returned back victorious, he will use for sacrifice. And when he saw the daughter, he used the daughter for sacrifice. Now that was not an evil, it was obedience to God's command. But when our ancestors did the same, it became evil and became the product of the devil. We need to wake up. There is nothing our ancestors did that the ancestors of the white man did not do. Because in the evolution of man, mankind at every place have passed different levels and dynamics of growth. But when they came to Africa, they decided that the best is to stunt the growth of Africa by programming them against their roots. And so, development ended. Remember the example I told you. When a man is told that his ancestors were mad, anytime if you call him a mad person, he will not question it. Because he will find reason to believe it. Since his ancestors were mad, that it's possible that a streak of madness dwells in him. True or false?
True.
That's what Africans were told. That's what they paid their agents, the pastors, to continue reinforcing. And that is what is still going on today. But the fools who believe it are complaining of poverty and bad government in the land. How can you be productive when your internal programming was programmed towards disempowerment? Will it be possible? Will it be possible?
No, sir.
It can never be possible. Internal programming is the key to success. That's the mental slavery we must awaken from. And it is only you that will emancipate yourself by choosing what to program your mind with. And so, as a roundup, I want to believe that what we are learning is making some sense. Because whatever program you adopt subconsciously will reflect back in your character, habits, and physical experience. Does it make sense? Okay. So we go back. Now, the image we see of ourselves in the mirror of our mind will always determine who we are. Whether real or distorted does not matter. I want to write it down. Now I want to say this. Whatever image believe that you see in the mirror of your mind, whether real or not, will always determine, okay, whether real or distorted, let me go distorted, will always determine your destiny and life experiences. Whatever image or belief that you see or that is in the mirror, or rather that is imputed, that is, whatever belief or image that is imputed into the mirror of your mind, whether real or distorted, will always determine your destiny and life experience. The reason is because the subconscious mind controls the physical life. The subconscious mind controls the conscious mind. And whatever the subconscious mind believes it will attract the experience into your physical reality. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes.
And so, the subconscious dynamics of Africans have been programmed with the belief that they are the children of the devil and unproductive. And so, no matter what they do, their economy will always remain in shambles. No matter what they do, their experience will always be a negative one. Unless there is a concerted, deliberate reprogramming, just as we are doing now. That is why it is only Africans that will reprogram the African mentality. Giving your enemy the opportunity and the key to help you out of your problem is like digging a deeper hole to enter instead of the one you're already in. That is why when African leaders go to the United Nations and other leaders of the world to seek economic blueprint or to seek financial help, I say that they are fools that should never live on this planet. Because it is only native solution that can resolve our native challenges. Am I communicating here? From the history and scientific evidence, civilization, creation and civilization started in Africa. The white man are products of Africa, the African descendants, who sojourn into an environment where the climate over time toned their skin. That does not make them superior. Scientific evidence have shown that the black man's mentality is superior to the white man, that the melanin, which gives us the black pigment, adds to superior mental capacity. But that the problem of Africa is that they were deliberately programmed to remain poor, and that agents were placed to monitor this programming and to reinforce it in the name of religion. Am I communicating here? Now I will conclude by saying that there is hope. And there are steps that we need to take. I think we will leave that for the next part 2 of this message, so that we can find out what steps must we take in order to rise above this negative programming with which we have been disempowered. And I will be leaving the stage by again reviewing the message of our brother, our prophet, Bob Nestor Marley, which I will join you to join me. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, for none but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop up the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say you just stay by the feet. We got to fulfill the book. Want to join me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever hear. Redemption song, the songs of freedom.
You see.